It's recording.
Okay.
It's recording.
It's that time again. It's time for the VCB podcast with your hosts, Jason Smith and Ronaldo Villarreal. Episode number 1 for 2024. It's a late start to a new beginning, just the way Ray and I planned it. All right, man, let's go ahead and get the new year started. VCB podcast 2024, year 4 of the podcast. Super excited. But before we can get things going, we got to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Ronaldo Villarreal. What's up, Ray?
How's it going, Jason? Hey, there's something different.
Yeah.
Well, for those that are
for our low vision folks,
folks.
yeah, you'll be able to see this on our YouTube page. Actually, you should be able to watch it on Spotify as well. If you're one of our Spotify followers, we appreciate you. In fact, to all of our followers, please hit every subscribe button, follow button, like button, and please find a way to reach out and comment.
Yeah, we're seeing you guys. We see those followers. We're seeing those likes, and we're seeing those Victor readers. We're seeing your devices listening to the podcast. So thank you very much. And like Jason said, Happy New Year's.
In fact, to our Victor reader listeners, that is so amazing. That is one way to take something that we teach here and use it for something so. I want to give a shout out to Carmelo, I believe her name was. Also, John Batista. They know how to make somebody feel really good about talking about the podcast every time they hear my voice when I walk up. They recognize the voice. They told me thank you. So to you two that have reached out and let me know how this podcast has impacted you, well, I just let you know that you guys are impacting me as well. So thank you.
Yes, thank you as well for me.
Before we get started, we have an awesome show today. We're recognizing Braille Month. So we have a guest that's going to be coming on and joining us that is one of our Braille instructors. So we're excited to interview her today. But we have to get through our norm, which is to let you know that, yes, all of our groups are still meeting monthly. You could follow them on myvcb.org. That's myvcb.org. It's our webpage. The calendar is there. You can also reach out to Matt at 559-222-4227.
Whoa,
I think I messed that up.
Let me help there. You can reach Matt at 559-222-4447.
Yes, I did that on purpose to see if he would come in and nail it.
See, he's trying to test me this year.
It was called the New Year test. And you passed.
Right. There you go. And then
did I sell it? Did we? Okay.
Yeah, we got it. Good. That was scripted.
It was scripted. Yeah, of course. But yeah, so if you want coffee with Alvin, our young adult group, game night, it's all still taking place. Just make sure you check the calendar on myvcb.org. Ray, what's new in your new year?
You know what? There's just a lot of wonderful things going on with us, at the agency and workforce development. But one of the biggest things I want to shout out this year and continue to help outreach and market, educate, excuse me. There's the word.
You go.
Is our DEP line, our disability equity providers line. So we want to continue to share those resources that our wonderful DEP team has been working hard in the last year. We did a report and it looks pretty good. People are calling in and we want to continue to that service for our community. So if you're needing support, or anyone that's looking for some support or needs some resources or just have a question, you can call our DEP line at 866-468-9115. That is 866-468-9115.
So I want to make this statement. I know what you've been doing on the new year.
What's that?
You've been memorizing phone numbers.
There's a lot of things I've been trying to memorize. I'm telling you that.
I think that was the first time in the history of this podcast that you nailed both.
Hey, new year, new me.
What is that commercial? New year, new you, feel fabletic. Something like that.
Well, yeah.
As for me, it's standard, man. We're just here. The office is open. So if you need services, please contact Linda. You can call her right here at the office at 559, right?
222-4447.
Keeping him on his toes this year is my mission.
Yeah, there you go.
As for Linda, she will get you set up to speak to one of our case managers and get you assessed, get your eyes covered in our low vision clinic, who's ran by the lovely Kathy. So we are up and running for the new year. So if you know anybody needs services.
Yeah, and I believe this podcast is coming out in a couple this week as well. So if you haven't been aware, there is a Braille challenge this year. So
yes,
yeah,
in the Braille challenge. So if you want to sign up for the Braille challenge, you could also reach out to Matt by calling 559
222
4447. Okay.
There
All right.
you go.
I think you're passing.
We're still going. Yeah,
we're
still good. Yeah.
So just reach out to Matt and make sure that you get all the information. It's going to be for people who are the age of kindergarten to 12th grade, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
In a lot of different categories. So you don't have to be super efficient at Braille to get into the challenge. Yes. So just make sure, you'll be able to pick a category and compete. So it'll be really, really, really fun. I think without further ado, we want to get to our guest.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm trying. Let's go. What was my thing? It was I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. That was my word. What 2022? I don't even remember.
It was like probably early 2022. Yeah.
So I'm hyped. It's Braille Literacy Month, and we have a wonderful guest to talk about what Braille means to them. So Jason, take it away.
Yes. Okay. We would like to kindly and excitedly introduce you to Veronica, one of our Braille instructors out of the Bakersfield office. Veronica, how are you?
Good. Thank you very much for having me. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing wonderful. We thank you for joining us today because it's Braille Literacy Month, and Braille is one of those lost arts, I like to say, and you keep it alive. And I would like to start off by just asking you to share with the audience what Braille means to you.
Oh my goodness. I can talk about Braille all day. Braille, to me, it's independence. It's being able to be successful at my job. I do use Braille from time to time on the job. And I just can't imagine not knowing Braille. I just can't. It's equivalent to a sighted person not being able to read. I just can't imagine that.
Right. No, I hear you, and we got so excited, in bringing you in, Veronica, that we forgot to skip a little bit. Veronica, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? About when did you start learning Braille, or your visual impairment as well, if that's okay?
Yes. I am totally blind. I've been blind since birth. I was born a preemie, and my eyes were damaged as a result, just to make a long story short. And I started learning Braille when I was 5.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So I'm an avid Braille reader. I was like in kindergarten when I learned.
Wow. Now I got to get my son started because he's almost in kindergarten. Yeah, that's the same with me. Well, I was born with, I think I shared with the audience and Veronica, I was born with retinitis pigmentosa. So it's a condition, that as you age, it's progressive. It's progressive. It gets worse as you age. And one of the things that they really, when I was diagnosed, I think I was 6 or 7 years old, and that was the first thing they asked, let's get you trained on Braille. And I can remember, learning Braille in elementary school and getting my first Perkins Brailler, and getting that it's like cardstock paper,
little thicker.
The little thicker Braille paper, and understanding how to put that in the Braille typewriter, and you learning just the Braille code, the Braille code. There you go. So
is it just me, or you were talking about the Perkins Braille writer? I'm sorry, but it just made me think of this. When I was little, I used to say, "Oh my gosh, this is so heavy," and now, it's not so heavy. Now it's like no big deal.
Yeah, I think it's just like as little kids, gaining that muscle. But I can remember just pulling that from underneath my desk and putting it on my desk. And I remember one time when one of my TVIs, teachers of visually impaired, gave me one of those foam inserts at the bottom that helps dampen the sound of. I don't know if you've had an experience with that.
Yes, I did use one of those, although in my case, I don't think it helped very much because I still thought it was loud.
Yeah. No, so yeah, I think that was for me too. I had another student that was learning Braille as well, and I don't know if you were in school with another individual that was visually impaired or learning Braille at the same grade level as you, Veronica, but we would do spelling test, and we would have both of our Perkins Braillers together, and we would just try to type out our spelling words, and eventually our teacher was like, "You guys are becoming too much a distraction." And we're
Yeah,
not to the sound, but just how fast we were trying to race each other. They
right.
had they had to put us in our send us to our TVIs.
Speed and efficiency, right?
Right.
Yeah, right. I don't know how the efficiency, how accurate I was with the actual spelling, but I know I was trying to, do it as fast as I could.
Probably were trying to do as fast as you could. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, some wonderful stories about just Braille in general.
Yeah.
So, but sorry, I took it away a little bit.
No,
too,
no,
Jason.
it's quite all right. You guys were having a wonderful conversation. So you grew up totally blind. How was your experience in school as far as how much you used your Braille versus, because I mean, I don't want to age you, I don't know, but versus audio. Did they have a lot of audio described devices for you back then, or was it primarily Braille?
It was primarily Braille for me. I was actually fortunate to go to a school that I got really lucky. My mom knew enough to know that Braille was a skill that I needed. So I think that she really did her homework, and like really did her research, because the school I went to, like that was one thing that was like their main focus was for me to learn Braille. So I've always had Braille in school.
Wonderful.
I had my books. I mean, I didn't get them on time a lot, but they were in Braille.
Yeah.
And I did have, and this is gonna age me, but we did have cassette tapes. I know.
Oh yeah, there
Mhm.
you go.
People are
That
like, "What are
definitely age
those?"
you.
I remember those. I still the
Yes.
Talking Book Library cassette tapes, and yeah, I
Yes.
remember those.
So I did have those, but most of the time, I had Braille. So I
Yeah.
was very lucky in that sense.
Were you the one that had to carry your volumes because they
Oh
make
my
multiple
goodness.
copies. They only made you one copy, and volumes of textbooks or books in general in Braille or
Mhm.
I can
Oh
remember
my
when the Harry
goodness.
Potter series came out and how many the Braille library when I was going to school, I was lucky enough to go to a school that had general ed and TVI integrated together, and they had a Braille library just for us students with visual impairment. And
Nice.
to go check out the Harry Potter series,
Mhm.
you're checking out volumes at a time, because they're just I don't
Huge.
I hope they had a
Huge.
big enough bookcase for that, because
yes.
It's like how many books per bookcase? Maybe 3 or 4.
Yes.
goodness, yeah,
Yeah.
thereabouts. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I can
It takes up
remember
a
it.
lot of room, Braille
I have a
does.
curious question since we're talking about Braille in school.
Mhm.
When you guys graduated, this would be a question for both of you, I guess.
Yeah.
Did they give you your diploma in Braille?
Oh, that would have been sweet,
That would
actually.
have been cool.
Yeah. You
Wow.
know what?
No, I did not, but I had a teacher that actually, she brailled my diploma, and she also brailled my my high school yearbook.
Oh,
Oh, that is
wow.
awesome. She
That's
brailled the whole
amazing.
yearbook, like all the
Yes.
students' names and
Uh-huh.
everything?
All the students' names, what they wrote. Yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
Shout out to the one who did that. Not only does it
Yes.
work, but man, that is amazing.
Yeah,
That is
that's
great for you. That
I
is
still have
awesome.
that somewhere.
yes. Yeah, that's
What a great idea.
no, definitely. That's a wonderful thought, from that teacher, just to take that time to do that, because that's
Mhm.
very, very important part of our lives,
Yeah.
Anytime you talk about where you went to school, everyone defaults to the high school. If you ever ask people, it's like, oh, where'd you go to school? They always talk about their high school.
Because it really is the one that we remember, and it seems to matter most to us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when we do all of our growing up. Well, maybe
Mhm.
not all of it, but the
Most
real
of it, right?
yeah, the most of it, yeah. Things get real when you hit
Yeah,
high
life
school.
gets
Yeah.
real there. Exactly. So Veronica, what so you're our current Braille instructor. What is your like devices that you like to share, or how do you introduce people into Braille and get them interested into wanting to learn Braille? Because we have technology now, like you said, we had cassette players, and now we have digital players, and we have screen
AI.
readers and voiceovers. All the list can go on, and so. What is your way, or how do you approach people when they say, I'm interested in Braille, but I'm not sure about it?
Well, I just start explaining all the different ways that Braille is used. Of course, reading and writing, playing games. I'll show them. I have a set of Uno cards, so I'll show that to them.
Yeah.
I will show them my Braille display. I have an Orbit Reader 20 Plus, and then I also have the Braille Sense. So I will show those to them. I just let them get their hands on as many tools as as I can.
Yeah.
Just show them all kinds of things. Braille their names out for them so they can have that with them. That I love that part, because one of the students I have, he was so excited at just to be able to see all the tools that you could use. But when I showed him his name, oh my goodness, he was just so happy to see it. And I think there's something about when a person sees especially their name written out. I feel like they're like, oh, okay, I can do this. You know.
Yeah, because it relates to them, on a personal level. It's my name.
Right.
These are the characters of my name, and I think that's how we did a small presentation to a group of Girl Scouts here recently, and that's one of the things that Tom Randall, one of our other instructors here at the agency, what he did is he brailled out the girls' names, and they were super happy to go home with those index cards with their brailled name on it. So I can understand that. And I think that's what they taught me when I was first learning Braille myself as well. It's like, hey, here's the letters of the alphabets, but also here's your name to help
That's
you
what I learned.
encourage you.
Yeah, I could see too, like for the first time, experience that for the first time, whether or not you were born blind or you're losing your sight in learning Braille in an older age. The reality sets in that I still am who I am, right? Because it's real. I could feel it. It's there.
Yeah.
People can see it. This is my name. Yeah. So
I might have, and also they may think I might have to do things differently, but I can still do it. It's like that matters,
Yeah, definitely. Great.
So I mean, tell us about the Uno cards. I have some experience with the Braille Uno cards, and I find it to be an extraordinary way for people to learn not only their colors but their numbers. How often do you use the Uno cards?
Well, I haven't been able to use it in a teaching setting just yet. But I do use it at home, like with my son. We'll play.
Yeah.
That's even like having that ability just to even have, playing with your son or family members.
And it's so cool because Braille to him, he's so used to it. He doesn't even, give it a second thought, and he wants to learn too as a result. So there's that.
Yeah.
Well, there's a career in that, by the way.
Right.
I mean, for translation and keeping Braille alive. So if you can continue to have that spark in him, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah. Even like what I tell people too, it's like, why do we learn Braille if we can just read it off of JAWS or our phone? It's like, yes, but Braille has adapted as well. Braille is like you said, Veronica, you have it on your Orbit 20. There's Braille displays now where you can, instead of having like 18 volumes of a Harry Potter book, you can have it on one device now.
But you could even use Braille with your technology, your phone. You could pair the device to your phone.
I can read my text messages in Braille.
Right? I know. Yep.
The key word there is read.
Right?
Right? Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Reading, it
Makes it more normal.
Exactly.
Right.
Really much so.
And how we can't always depend on technology. I was here last week.
Yes.
Funny story. Like, internet
Yes.
goes out.
Yeah.
Then what? Right? What if you
Uh-huh.
can't access that information? So if there was something that you could tell somebody, Veronica, why they should learn Braille versus relying on voiceover, JAWS, all those, the AI and all those sorts of things, what would you tell somebody to encourage them? Hey, this is why this is important.
One, it's the only system that I know that puts us on equal footing with our sighted peers.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that's a big, and to just what we were talking about, we can't always rely on our tech. Yes, our technology is great, but like you said, if the power goes out, what do we do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How are we going to write down something? It could be a number, it could be, I don't know, instructions to something, notes. How are you going to do that without power?
Correct.
Even to the point, Braille helps us find us our in an elevator, finding the correct
Oh my
level to
goodness,
go
yes.
to, helping us find our classrooms,
Yeah.
finding the numbers to our classroom, helping us. Even it's funny too, people don't understand that there's Braille on ATM machines and helps us operate those devices because there's Braille on it. We can read it. We'd understand where the enter key is or where what the steps are to use the Braille or use the ATM machine because it's on there. People always
It's
say,
on there.
Yeah.
Shout
Yeah.
out to
Why
our
is it on
fellow
there?
VIPs who's ever gotten on an elevator that does not have Braille, and you've gone to
Oh my
every floor to find out
gosh.
where
Oh,
you're at.
yes.
It is so annoying when I go to an elevator
Mhm.
that doesn't have Braille anymore.
I'll tell you what, and no one's around. You're just waiting for someone else to jump on and be like, "Where am I?"
You know what somebody
Yes.
recently taught me that I didn't know about elevators and Braille is when the doors open directly to the right
Mm-hmm.
is the level outside of the door. I never knew that.
Oh,
So
wow.
there should be an ADA number like the plaque
Yeah.
with the
Mhm.
floor level on there, and it's in Braille. I never knew that. I
I
always
didn't
had
know
to ask
that.
people.
Oh,
I
wow.
always had to go out and like, oh, is this level 3 or whatever? And they're like, yeah. But when I was at a convention just this October, they were like, oh, you just put your hand out in the right there's of the door outside of the door. You got to be careful because you don't want that door to close on you. But
Right.
there it tells you what level you're on in
Oh,
Braille.
wow. That's
So I was
something new for me. I never knew that.
Yeah. So
Oh,
that was
wow.
Braille that note right now.
Right?
I was like, that's good information right there.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
Tell another fun story. Is how did you find Valley Center for the Blind, Veronica?
I actually, it was my counselor at the time, my rehab counselor. I'm a mom. I have a 10-year-old, and my son was like, I want to say he was like 3 or 4 at the time. And I was honestly just looking for something to do because I was like really lonely. I was a stay-at-home mom, and that gets to be lonely at times. I really didn't have like a lot of friends. I was just getting involved with the blind community again. I was just getting to talk to blind parents like me. And I think I called her for something one day, and she mentioned Valley Center for the Blind, and what started to tell me about the classes, and asked me if I was interested, and I told her that I was, and I started taking classes.
Yeah.
I learned Outlook first because that was the one thing I wanted to learn first. And then, yeah, and the rest I say is history.
Little thing on that too is like I remember Veronica coming to the agency in Kern at the time because it was the time me and Alvin were going every week down to Kern.
Mhm.
And we
You guys were my instructors.
Exactly. Yes, I
Yeah.
remember this.
Yep.
I remember Veronica coming into
Mhm.
at the time. It was at a building called or facility called the Two Towers.
Twin Towers.
Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Down in Kern, and me and Alvin would travel on Amtrak, and we would stay at a hotel nearby, and we would just see clients there in a shared office space, and we would have to work our schedules out. It's like, okay, my client's coming at 9. Okay, I got a client at 11. So who's taking the space right now, and shuffling things around.
Yeah.
And just Veronica came, and she was working with Alvin there, and a little bit with me, and just teaching technology out there. And now look at her now. She's our Braille instructor.
Right. And I love the full circle story. So what inspired you, Veronica, to teach Braille?
I think it was something I always thought of, but I just didn't have the right tools to do it, how to go about it.
Right.
Also meeting the right people, making connections, and I don't know, I always wanted to do something in the capacity of helping others.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess you could say that.
I'll tell you
just
this too.
Helping others. So.
Yes, paint it forward, as I like to say.
Yes.
Here, I'm gonna paint something to you guys as well, and then I know we're getting close on time. I was messaging Veronica to ask her if she would be interested in joining us on our podcast, and I've communicated with Veronica throughout the years here at the agency. But the last Teams message I had from Veronica, and I don't know if you know this, Veronica, was the message to me because you were on one of our other call center contracts. And she's like, "Hey, Ray, I'm reaching out to you because I want to let you know that I got offered an opportunity to be the Braille instructor at the agency."
Oh, so yes, I remember that.
And that was the last Teams message I had. And that was in 2022.
22, yes.
Yeah, December. In December.
Was it 2022 or?
No, it was just
it was 22
because it was GFL that we were working on last.
And that's
that I was
she was helping me out in 2022. It was I saw it was December 7th, so I even remember the date now too. So that was the time you reached out and said, "Hey, I can't help you anymore here because I'm gonna go be a Braille instructor because this is what I want to do." And I was like, "Good for you."
I remember that.
That is so great. All right, so we ask this to every guest that we have. Okay. If there was one thing that you could let somebody know right now, and it doesn't necessarily have to be for Braille. I know this episode's about Braille, but if there's anything that you could say to somebody to encourage them, motivate them, inspire them to come to Valley Center for the Blind and get into our programs, what would that be?
I think I would say, to do it. Yes, you're going to feel overwhelmed a little because it's something new, but everyone is very caring, and everyone cares about the clients. It's very person-centered, and you're going to receive a lot of hope.
Ooh.
And
nice.
And a lot of support, and you're going to feel like everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Veronica, thank you so much for being able to join us today. We really appreciate you and the work that you've been doing, and we look forward to you changing lives one lesson at a time.
Thank you very much.
All right, everybody, that's going to wrap up episode number 1 of the VCB podcast for 2024. Ray, any final thoughts before we roll out of here?
I'm just excited for this year, and I hope that you guys are as well, and continue to join us every time we put things out there, and we're hoping to continue to put more things out there. And like Veronica said, please just do it. Just come learn about what we have to offer, because I promise you, you'll get something out of it.
And we want to thank you all for all your support. Remember, you could head over to the YouTube channel, Valley Center for the Blind. This will be a video podcast, first one of 2024. And make sure that you're following the page there, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere, Facebook. Next month will be Macular Degeneration Month, and we have another wonderful special guest. So you're going to want to be locked in and stay tuned.
Excited.
All right. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other.